Well, so tell me this. So how did Galeforce come to be?
Well, I was working at another audio brand, Crescendo, which they're coming back. So, you know, best of luck to them coming back out and getting their feet under them again. Uh, but I was there, and at a certain point, I needed to move on and do some other stuff. And while I was there, I was having conversations with my friend, best friend since second grade, who is now also my business partner.
That's cool.
Uh, and he's a great guy.
Can probably
Really
trust that
really
guy.
wonderful person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's an avid boater, and he goes 30, 40 miles out into the Gulf to go fishing as often as his wife will let him. Uh, and he's like, I really want some tunes on my boat. You know, do you have speakers for it? Well, Crescendo didn't really have a true marine grade speaker. I was like, well, I have 3 or 4 factories a week reaching out to me because of my affiliation. Let me just answer one of them and talk to one. And I started talking with a guy and uh, told him my goals. And he's like, okay, well, we have this. And it was a concept of the F3. And I probably drove him off a cliff because I don't know, probably 13, 14 changes to that original model that they offered, that their catalog offering. So I make all these changes and I order a couple prototypes, and they were they were great, but they weren't perfect. So I made, I think, 2 or 3 more changes and then did some cosmetic work and got those prototypes in. They were perfect. They were exactly what I wanted. We tested, torture tested, beat the snot out of them for it was 2.5 years from initially talking to them until we put in a production run.
Dang.
And it was about the year mark into testing and messing with and everything else that Ryan, he's like, why don't we do this? Why don't we start our own brand and do it? I mean, we've seen what's possible. Ryan basically closed his 401k down, put all of that in. We took a little loan out of a bank and we put together this whole order. And at this point, we've we have either more than or almost doubled every year for the last 3 years. The first 2 years were more than double. This year we're about 80% up over last year, and it's just been, new products, continued growth, new markets, new regions. We've picked up sales reps, and people are excited about coming on as dealers, coming on as competitors. Uh, Honestly, we do our best to be a part of the industry, like with Base Wars. We're sponsors of 5 or 6 different organizations between the slingshots, the motorcycles, the cars, so on and so forth. And I want to say we sponsored, at least in part, via donations of speakers or financial donations or having a booth at so on and so forth, of somewhere between 40 and 50 shows this year. Ryan basically closed his 401k down, put all of that in. We took a little loan out of a bank and we put together this whole order. And at this point, we have either more than or almost doubled every year for the last 3 years. The first 2 years were more than double. This year we're about 80% up over last year, and it's just been, new products, continued growth, new markets, new regions. We've picked up sales reps, and people are excited about coming on as dealers, coming on as competitors. Uh, Honestly, we do our best to be a part of the industry, like with Base Wars. I'm hoping to have Clay's build in it. I'm hoping to have Heath Gilliland, which he's actually a sales rep for Excess Power and Sundown now, but he was doing our social media and helping out a lot with that. And I know he's also competed. Actually, I met him through Base Wars. It was at a show in Alabama that Base Wars put on, and that was a couple years ago. Ryan and I drove up to that. We threw a football in the parking lot, just hanging out, watching the show and whatnot. We didn't even really have a booth at the time. Met Heath and chatted with him. Edric with his Monte Carlo has been a great supporter and has been at shows and everything else too. He was the reason we were at the Alabama show was Edric. They're just
what products does Clay Clay in Tennessee, what does he have? Because his is insanely loud and clear.
Yeah, that's what he's got. He's got G3s and T25s. Yep, that's he has 6.5s, 8s, and then the T25s. And yeah, I mean he's done a great job of getting it dialed in, and he's got a unique, really great sound. He's got more than enough output. It's a killer build that I just continue hearing amazing things about from just about everybody that hears it.
So the G3 and the G25s, what is it to those? The G3, is it a Neo?
Yep. It's a Neo motor. We got that nice lug style paper cone. They're relatively shallow. Power handling is through the roof. That's one thing that we've been testing more and more, kind of pushing the limits, because we know competitors and everything else. As I just said, I as a competitor, I know what people do to equipment.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of that in our ratings, where, like for example, our F3, I rated at 250 watts RMS. In the bike world, I have guys that are running 800 watts on the mid range and 300 watts on the horn. I know what people are going to do to them, and they have great success, and very rarely break stuff if it's done right and everything else. You really know what you're doing, which competitors learn that. So
distortion kills.
I really, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
especially
coils
on
glue,
those type speakers.
Yes, 100%. At the point we are technologically, you can run just ignorant amounts of power and everything else. It comes down to clipping, because 20 watts with a square wave is going to build up heat and break stuff.
Gonna fry. Yeah.
So, yep. So, I have a couple of guys around the country that are running 500-600 watts to these mid ranges, and the output, the clarity is unreal. No cone breakup. It's just you just keep getting louder and louder until I want to say it was somewhere between 800 and 900 watts for about 45 minutes straight is where the coils decided, okay, we're a little warm. We're just going to go ahead and give up.
Yeah, we're done. I can't say that I blame them though. Right?
Yeah, no.
So the G3s,
you told me, I was like,
yeah. So the G3s, they come in what, 6.5s, 8s, 6.5s and 8s? Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yep, 6.5s and 8s right now, 4 ohm and 8 ohm versions, and 10s hopefully by early next year. That is our goal.
Now, how about the tweeters? What kind of tweeters are they?
It is just a 25 millimeter, your typical standard tweeter, which it's kind of hard to see over camera, everything else. But we include this aluminum mounting ring. I had one, but I think that I got rid of it. But it comes with just all the mounting hardware to kind of give you multiple mounting options, so on and so forth. Because again, it costs us an extra $1.50 for that aluminum mounting ring.
Oh yeah.
Little things like that where, okay, it adds up to be
Yeah.
thousands of dollars.
Right.
But for the end consumer, it's a
Life
nicer
saving.
quality of life. It just,
Yeah.
giving you the
Right.
options and all of that. The couple $1,000 is worth it to give customers a
Better product. Yeah.
enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Yep,
Better product.
absolutely.
Now,
Yep.
I understand you may have some subs coming out. Is that right?
Yeah, the Cat 3s are out. I have 2 pallets sitting out in the warehouse right now. That's all we have left of our initial run because we did a small batch.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we've been very transparent. I worked with Jacob Fuller at Sundown to develop these, and they actually assembled and hand built them in North Carolina at their facility
Oh,
and
wow.
shipped them to us.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was our answer to what the motorcycle world specifically, and then the slingshot world, and a couple other sectors of the market. There's a need for competitive, shallower, small airspace subs, high power handling, high output. That exterior environment where you're playing into open air. You don't have a cabin of a car to load in, anything like that. So you're gonna have a very different desire of what a subwoofer needs to play and where it needs to peak and everything else. So we ended up coming out with it's a hodgepodge of parts that meld together perfectly. But it's the UV1 motor, the UV2 surround. It's one of the Z spiders that's cut down to fit, and then a 12-spoke basket. Um, then a couple other just little goodies and whatnot. But it ended up being something we rated at a 2K RMS. You know, it
That's pretty stout.
is 6.5 inches mounting depth on the 10 and 7 inches on the 12. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 7 inches.
Wow. That's pretty good.
So yeah. To be able to get that sort of performance in that small of a package, um, it's blowing people away. And we've got a few guys out there that are just having unreal performance and results with them.
Yeah.
Any of them that reach out to me know I'm always available, and I love the support, and I'm here for them. I just can't keep track of when and who and everywhere, all that stuff.
Yeah. I have trouble keeping up with just Base Wars. Right?
I
I
can
think
understand that.
we have 10 finals locations. That's a lot.
That is.
I think we have 2 places in South Africa. And I think, let's see, we got Kansas, we got Tennessee, got Michigan, Indiana. I think California. It's either California, Nevada, but I think California. I think in Fresno, in Oregon, Alabama.
All over.
There's probably 1 or 2 I'm forgetting. Iowa, I think, yeah. So, and we're going to do it the same way we're doing this thing, is bringing these streams in. Yeah, just hope for the best.
Yeah, that's all you can do sometimes. Trying to organize something that big, I'm glad I don't have to do it. Definitely props to you, because it's logistically just not a fun thing to deal with.
Well, man, tell you the truth, I got mixed feelings on doing it the way we do it. I like that we get to save the competitors a lot of money. I ain't saying it's in their backyard, but they don't have to travel 20 hours across the country, right?
Yeah. Yep.
When we got a guy now, his name's Russell Jones, down in your area. And so you'll see more Base Wars down there. And he will do a finals from Florida next year. I guarantee it, So we finally getting you guys involved. But the drawback to doing it this way is there's no one big show.
Yeah.
It don't seem real special, in my opinion, probably to the competitors. And I hate that. But, what can you do?
My history, I competed almost 20 years ago, which isn't super fun to think about. But, when I was doing it, the base race, we they had started doing the world finals and everything else. So I got an invite to Worlds one of the years. I think that one wasn't until like 2012, 2013, one of those years that I got the invite to finals for base race. And I lost to a guy in Ohio by 0.1. It was one of those things where we're live streaming. You're watching in real time both of your scores back and forth, trying to end perfect, so on, and the agony of defeat, the amazing rush of endorphins when I won a couple other rounds to get to that finals.
Yeah.
It still 100% registers, and yes, I didn't get to look them in the eyes. That might have helped. Who knows? But
right.
But it was still, I mean, having thousands of people in one location versus having hundreds in a bunch. But I will be in Daytona for Biketoberfest because there's audio shows in Daytona Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, 1 on Saturday. So on. So that's a big market for us, and that's somewhere where I kind of have to be until I have someone that knows as much about our stuff as I do. But yeah, I mean, trying to get to all of the shows, especially now that, we've launched in the slingshot world. The bike world has been our number one, but the car world is growing very quickly because of the performance that we're getting out of these G3s and T25 specifically. So,
well, I didn't
trying
realize,
to get to all of them.
I never thought of it, but I'm not manufacturing speakers either, so that'd be why. But I guess there is a different type sub or speaker needed for motorcycles and slingshots than cars.
Absolutely.
I really think about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they truly have a different sound that they desire. When you go to a motorcycle competition, a slingshot competition, and a car competition, be it a street battle, be it the base wars, your demos and everything, or just showing up on a street corner with stunt walls, they all have something different that they want, performance-wise and sound, the quality, the ultimate goal, the output, the way they play it, the time frame they play it. Every single one is very different. It can be rough, but that's where we've come out with some extremely versatile speakers. The F3, which is our biampable high power coax. We've had people have great success and win in multiple sections of the market with that speaker, and they all set it up differently. Using the mid-range, the woofer as more of a mid-bass because it's capable of that, and then using the horn as your mid-range and having a standalone tweeter like the T25 is one way to do it. We've had people that just want crazy output. They're pulling up at a parking lot and they just want to be the loudest thing there. And so, that mid-range and the horn are going to be playing that mid-range vocal clarity, everything. There's very versatile speakers. They respond insanely well to tuning. It's like a 1-to-1 on an RTA. Like it's phenomenal. And our other stuff is similar. The G3s respond really well. The T25s, the things that we've been able to do with them defy logic in terms of a 1-inch tweeter. You're not supposed to be able to send 100 watts to it and cross it over at 800 hertz. That's not a thing.
Right.
I don't recommend that, but I have videos of that where two tweeters from probably 50 yards, loud, crystal clear, a full vocal range of 800 hertz to 20K out of a tweeter. Yes.
That would hurt.
And again, I don't recommend it,
Yeah.
but they're easy to repair. A couple solder dots and you drop a new diaphragm in. But the capabilities of them, you know, that's our goal, is
Yeah.
to make changes and try to build products that people can use to truly get their desired output and sound and everything else out of. It was actually one moment that I will probably remember forever. I was in Myrtle Beach for the Myrtle Beach Bike Rally, and I had a bunch of dealers and competitors, customers, everything. And I'm there, I'm supporting, I'm looking at their bikes, I'm watching them compete, so on and so forth. And there's a lull in the action, so I just, I got half an hour, I'm gonna go for a walk, and I go and I walk across the street, because this is at the Beaver Bar. I walk across the street, and there's a bunch of vendors set up and all this stuff. There's thousands of bikes on this stretch of road. And as I'm walking by vendors and everything else, there's a row of bikes, and there's this gorgeous orange bike, and I'm like, man, that is a really nice color. And I walk over, and he's got F3s.
Huh.
No clue who it is.
Right.
Just, he's just a quote random person that has bought our speakers out in the wild that I have no contact with. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Seeing not only the people that I talk to on a daily basis, and my dealers and everything else, but just someone out there that, probably heard one of these bikes and went, I need that. And they went and they got a build done with our stuff. That's what it's all about. That excitement and the feeling of, that's really cool. It's just
a cool feeling.
Yeah. I am wildly excited for Slamology.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's always, Denise is one of my favorite people in the industry, truly. So I've known her since I was competing. So it's been 18.
Yeah.
We'll just say it's been 18 years.
Yeah.
And so we'll have probably a 100-foot plus booth there, assuming all goes well, and we're going to load it up. The bikes have started. They've brought in some motorcycle competitions last year. It's going to continue to grow up, and I'm working on trying to get all the slingshots and everything to be there too, because that show is just, I love Slamology.
I'm excited about the new location